Turn up to this leaking Worcester Bosch 30i ERP boiler. It's dripping from the right hand side. Let's check, see if the pressure's dropped. It hasn't, so I'm guessing it'll probably be the flow adapter. Well, let's whip that out the way and have a look. Let's get the case off. Undo the 2 screws. Case comes off. Undo the other screw to pull the board down. There you can see it, the flow adapter's just dripping onto the diverter valve, which they nicely put a little sheet over it because they know that's going to happen. Isolate the cold main, that'll stop the drip immediately. Always use a spanner rather than a screwdriver. Open the nearest hot tap just to take the pressure off. There's a flow adapter, take note of the part number. Comes with all the washers you need, including the fibre washer now. It never used to, which used to be a pain, but they've obviously altered that. You've got to put the rubbers on yourself, so the small one goes on the small end, the bigger one goes on the bigger end. You've worked that out. Then disconnect the turbine switch. There's this little clip on that, 24mm spanner. Undo that. There's probably plenty of WD-40 in there. Nobody ever said no to a bit of lube. Flathead screwdrivers, pop the pin out. Try not to ping it like that, because then you've got to find it. Take the cold nut off completely. Pull that out the way so you've got plenty of room. Use some grips to gently pull out the flow turbine. Then pop that somewhere safe. You're going to need that again in a minute. Use another pair of grips to pull out the flow adapter. As you can see, it's all broken. Just gets brittle and cracks and comes apart. That's what causes the leak. You've got to get the silencer out. It's all part of the filter and the silencer system. And then just have a check inside to make sure there's no debris left in there. Sometimes it gets stuck in the plate and all sorts. So I always use plenty of lube for this. Lube up anything and everything. Turbine adapter's pushed in with plenty of lube on. You hear it pop in, you know it's in place. Plenty more lube everywhere. Anything with an O-ring, lube that up as well. It's just going to help you out later on. Lube up the flow turbine as well, in all the places that it clicks in. At the bottom there's an arrow. The arrow will be pointing towards the back of the boiler, because that's the direction of flow from the cold main to go through to spin the turbine to then tell the boiler to fire for hot water. Again, plenty more lube. I've got a broken 4mm screwdriver that I use just to pop fibre washers off. That one came off easy, but they don't always. Normally they're stuck in and you have to break them off bit by bit. So then once I've popped that on, I just start the cold nut, just so it holds it in place. Don't have to go mad with how tight it is. And then I'll just pop that in. You'll hear it pop again, you'll know it's in enough. And that's the kind of angle that you want that pin at. It's going to be leaning to the right, it'll push in the angled bit to the left. It's a bit hard because I'm filming it with one hand and trying to put it in with one hand. But once you get it lined up and it's pushed in, just use a pair of grips to clamp it and push it down. You want that pushed fully home, otherwise you're going to get wet when you turn the cold main back on. Finish tightening up the cold main nut. Use that 24mm set spanner again, just to give it its final pinch. Once that's all tight, turn your hot tap off. pop the turbine sensor back together. Underneath, use a spanner to turn the cold main back on. Open your nearest hot tap again just to let all the air out. Pop the board back down again just to check there's no leaks. All looks pretty good to me. Fire the boiler up while you're there, just to check when the turbine's in the right way around. You might have forgotten. Make sure you've plugged it in. Sometimes you forget to do that too, and that'll just eliminate that. It's all on and working. Happy days.